welcome to episode 26 of the Any Games.ie podcast with me, Gav.
And me, Dave.
We're back, Dave.
We are back after our little break we took.
Yeah, it's a couple of weeks off.
Yeah.
How are you feeling being back? Are you feeling a bit rusty?
I always do after we take a break. We done it
Yeah.
at Christmas. We kind of took that break over Christmas and then came back and I was like, oh, what are we going to talk about? Do you know, like,
Yeah.
but then you kind of just get back into it then after a few
I
minutes.
don't think it's even like what subjects we're going to cover or not. I think it's just
No, it's just a flow of conversation.
just a flow and being natural with it, isn't it?
Yeah. Bit like prostate problems. You know, you want to get the flow right.
Listen, you're getting to that age now as well, Dave.
Fucking am.
Come here, we're watching the Arsenal game in the background here.
We are. I'm not encouraged, to be honest.
There's an absolute madness going on in the other game. Like,
There
this
is.
is a boredom, 0-0.
This is a bar nil all, but this is the one I'm watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather be watching Real and Bayern, to be honest, but
Yeah.
more end to end.
Suppose, Gav, just before we get into it then this week, and not to get too political on the podcast or anything like that, but just to kind of acknowledge the events of the last week or so in Ireland, and I suppose just give a shout out to everybody who went out protesting and say fair play. And I think, I don't know, I speak for any games as a platform, and I say, like, fair play, and we support everything that happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Support everybody involved. It's great to see. And we didn't get, because there was a vote going on to try abolish the government. Unfortunately, they kept their place.
They
were
did.
voted back in, so to speak. But I think it's important that we remember events like this
When it comes to voting time.
when it comes to re-election.
Yeah. Like I said, we don't want to get too political and we don't want to get into it, but just to say,
Any games support us.
Yep.
And brilliant effort made by everybody.
So getting to the football that matters, Gav.
Yep.
Just a bit of site activity there from anygames.ie, and it's in the Find the Game section, and we have a user there in the Blanchardstown area just looking to get involved with a five-a-side game. So if anybody listening is in the Blanch area and can dig them out, head over there to anygames.ie, get signed up and let them know.
Yep. And if you, with the good weather now coming in as well, if you're interested in getting involved in a five-a-side, seven-a-side, whatever it might be, and you don't know anybody who's playing, but you'd like to get involved, head over to the website, drop a message in there, and let them know that you're interested.
Let them
get
know.
involved.
And anything that goes up on that site, as always, we put across all our socials as well to get some attention to the posts on the site. So, yep.
I was
Anygames.ie.
going to say the better weather's coming in, but it's flashing rain as well.
It is lashing rain, but it has been better. It's been a little bit better.
Yeah, it's brighter at least.
Yes. So yeah, that's it for site activity for this week anyway.
Yeah. We should say, just in terms of our activity ourselves with any games, we will be getting back out and covering more games between now and the end of the season. If you engage with us, or if you haven't engaged with us before and you'd like us to get out to one of your games, obviously a lot of finals, semi-finals and stuff coming up thick and fast now.
Or just big games and run-ins to the league, everything. Like, so
Yeah. You know, it could be top of the table clashes.
yeah. Give us a shout because we're
Get
more than
involved.
happy to go out.
Absolutely. We're looking to get out to as many games as we can between now and the end of the season, as we said. And when the season does wrap up, if your club are holding any open training sessions or any tournaments, any fundraisers, anything like that.
Looking for coaches.
Speaking of which, Fingers United are currently looking for competitive and recreational coaches at the moment. So we've a post up on the website, and we've posted it on our socials as well. So all the details are on over there if you check that out.
Head over there and take a look. And the same goes for anybody else as well. Like we will shout everything out and try and get you hooked up with coaches. And if you're looking to just get into coaching, head over there as well. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. So get over to the website or get in touch with us across any of our socials, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Sure. Great. Cheers. Talk to you later.
So moving on then, Gav, do you want to take a look at some Leinster Senior League?
Yeah, so we'll look back at some of the results from last week. So Kilbarrack beat Kilesta Donecarney 2-1. Malahide beat Moptus 2-0. The week before that, we had St. Francis suffered a 6-1 defeat at home to Wayside, and Finglas United beat Ballymun 2-0. So, looking at the table then and what it means for the table, Malahide and Malahide and Kilbarrack are still kind of leading the line at the moment, 44 and 43 points respectively.
It's been like that for a while.
It's been like that for a while. They've kind of been leading the line now for a good portion of this league campaign. And then, as we said before, it's kind of packed in the middle, so that'll likely change as the fixtures are played out over the next couple of weeks. Speaking of which, we've got Ballymun away to Inchicore, Francis away to St. Mox's. We've got Leicester away to Malahide United, and then we've got Finglas United then are away to Inchicore. So yeah, the games are coming thick and fast. Like, we've got Malahide have to travel to Bangor Celtic, St. Francis to Colesta Donecarney, Kilbarrack at Ballymun. We've got Moptus away to Usher Celtic, and yeah, that's it for the next week or two. We look ahead. There's a few more games then. Obviously coming up, but
a lot of
the games are
coming up.
coming thick and fast.
Yeah, with the weather back now as well, you probably get more games played and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, usually it's just Friday and Sunday, but they're they're coming quick now at the moment.
Yeah. Interesting times.
Yeah, see, a lot of games would have been called off as well, and then obviously the cup runs as well. It's kind of pushing some of the games out and stuff. Yeah. Best of luck to everyone involved.
Yep, good stuff.
We'll hopefully get out to a couple of those games over the next couple of weeks.
Yep, as we said, get in touch. So, Gav, where we're looking at scores, you want to move on to League of Ireland then?
Yeah. I suppose we'll start with Bows. And Bows are doing Bows things at the moment.
Yeah, I know. I've noticed.
Kind of said in previous episodes that something smelled different.
It doesn't. No, it's just back.
Things are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Get off to a great start.
It's kind of cut and paste from last year, isn't it?
Yeah, like there was a run of draws there over the last couple of weeks, and you're nearly waiting for the win.
Yeah.
But instead,
it's gone the other way.
Yeah, Sligo Rivers.
Sligo Rivers.
Sligo Rivers. Came along.
That sounds like a I don't even know.
Farmer from Yorkshire.
Yeah.
And we're spiders, MR. But yeah, it's not like after such a great start, they haven't been able to maintain that form. And you can accept the draws, still points on the board.
Yeah.
But it's difficult because other teams are starting to
pick up points. Rovers are starting to
gather a bit of momentum. Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine actually. Big League of Ireland fan. He's a Shelbourne fan, and he was kind of saying the same thing. He was, Rovers typically start slow as well with their European commitments.
Yeah.
But then as soon as they gather momentum, then
they kind of become the force in the league, don't they?
Yeah. They get that consistent rhythm then to their play. Pats as well, making moves. Pats are looking real strong now. As we said, we looked through some of the results. Rovers beat Pats out in Inchicore 1-0. And as I said before, Sligo Rovers beat Bows 2-1 at Dalymount. Dundalk and Derry, that finished 2-2. There was a couple of games called off last minute because of
probably the protest, was it?
No, it was actually the weather.
Oh, really?
There was a kind of the weather turned quick. Heavy rain came.
I think it's bizarre. Like we've spoken about games getting called off for weather.
Yeah.
On this podcast a couple of times. Never much the League of Ireland.
No. I just think that much water fell that quick. The pitch couldn't drain it quick enough.
Yeah. Just seems mad to see League of Ireland games called off for the weather. Like.
Yeah. But she'll listen. The games will all get played at the end, and we'll look ahead at the upcoming fixtures then. Pats travel to Drogheda, Galway to Dundalk, Derry play Shells, and Bows and Rovers.
Big one. Now, this
That's a big one.
you could look at
It's
that
out
as
in
an
Tallaght.
opportunity for Bows, couldn't you? Kind of
Yeah,
bounce back from a few poor results, poor run of form, maybe.
yeah. Look, every game is an opportunity to lay a marker.
Yeah,
And the rivalry obviously between Bows and Rovers
yeah. It's one of
out in
those.
Tallaght, and obviously I was waxing lyrical about how well Bows played against Rovers in the reverse fixture a couple of weeks ago. Um, so yeah, look, great opportunity for them to bounce back, as you said, but certainly a game to watch.
Yeah,
And then finishing up, it's Waterford away to Sligo.
yeah.
So again, Sligo we want to push on from.
Well, after the Bows result, they'll want to kick on.
Yeah, I mean they've got off to a bad start this season, so maybe that's the turning point
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
them now to crack on,
Sometimes
as you
it's all
said.
it takes. It's a big result.
Yeah, absolutely.
Moving on to in the news then, and got some a couple of bits of news that are kind of relevant to the amateur game.
Yeah,
The first being the announcement of the new club Meath FC, a new club in Meath who've been set up with, you would say, high ambitions of reaching League of Ireland.
yeah. Well, they put out their, what would you call it, mission statement,
Yeah,
essentially setting their stall out, and they their plan is to set out from academy level, build our way up through the years
uh,
to senior teams,
yeah,
and then
and obviously bringing those young kids through to being a senior team.
exactly, yeah,
Yeah,
bring up the age levels, and then I think their overall ambition then would be to have a team in the League of Ireland at some stage.
yeah.
You know, in one of the top three divisions. I
I
say
mean,
three now because the new one's coming in, obviously.
fair play to everyone involved there. I mean, it is ambitious, but it's great to see a new club forming with that ambition
Yeah,
and bringing it. If it does get to the point where they're a League of Ireland team, to actually bring a League of Ireland team to Meath, which is a huge county.
yeah, it'd be phenomenal.
Yeah,
Absolutely phenomenal.
and
It's given Harchester United vibes.
it is. Do you see the jersey? I love the jersey.
Love it.
Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm loving it.
I
Somebody,
really, I want one.
somebody involved there with Meath FC is a dream team fan.
Definitely. I'll tell you, if they could market that jersey and sell it, I think I'd buy one.
I think I would as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now, well, you're
definitely.
living in Meath.
I am living Meath. I do live in Meath. So I mean, if they get there, that'll be a local club. They're based in Navan, as far as I believe.
Yeah,
Be interesting. I'd like to get someone on here and have a chat with them. If anybody from Meath FC is listening,
yeah,
um,
absolutely. We'd love to get involved, sit down, have a chat. You know, just to see who's involved, where the idea came from, because it's ambitious, but you know,
you have to have
all
it.
great things come from
Yeah, you have to have
start with
that
ambition and an idea.
like, I'd love to know. I'd love to pick that brain. Like, did the I don't know how long it's in the works or anything like that, but with the new National League, you'd have to think that that's very encouraging for the team like Meath FC now to say that's the pathway, that's the goal. You
What
know?
what actually came from that as well was there was a couple of clubs who'd been rejected for the new third tier
Okay.
within Meath.
Oh, okay. I
Um,
didn't know that.
I think Rathout and Trim Celtic, I think, were two of the clubs who applied for it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
That
didn't
were,
know. I didn't know Rathout did, which is
yeah, I think
interesting.
I'm nearly sure it was Rathout, and Trim Celtic. I think was the other one.
I'd love to know what the basis for the rejection was there. Like, I know Rathout, like they've good facilities. They've up there. I don't know whether it's the paperwork. Basically, I don't know. I'd love to know what was the basis for the
See,
rejection there.
like we spoke with Gavin Pearce at Home Farm,
Yeah.
who, as we know, are moving into the new third tier, and that there was a lot of investment required just to run a team in that league for the season. Like you're
Yeah.
talking upwards of 100 grand
Yeah. So
per season.
I suppose as part of your application for that, you have to submit your books.
You have to,
Cool.
you have to show that it's a financially viable option
Yeah, yeah.
for the club.
And it's understandable as well. Like you don't want to.
I think as well what clubs are doing, they are essentially having their senior team as a separate entity, obviously still under the same name and umbrella as the club itself, but financially as a separate entity to
like a self-sustaining
to
kind
the
of
to the
portion
schoolboy
of the,
level stuff,
yeah.
because there can't be any implication on the schoolboy side of the game.
Yeah.
If for whatever reason the club finds themselves in trouble financially or whatever,
And unable to continue on.
unable to continue,
Yeah.
if there's any implications that
It's
they
not
wouldn't trickle down into schoolboy level.
It's not gonna fold the whole club.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
And
they have to nearly run it as a separate entity, as far as I'm aware.
I suppose in that sense, like, it is really it's the right thing then if
They're safeguarding the club.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, which needs to be done, but obviously,
I suppose in terms of a rejection, probably not the worst thing in the world, because if you get rejected and they give you this list of things as to reasons why they've rejected you,
yeah,
it's a target to work on. It's something to
exactly. And
aim for.
we went through the criteria before, of what's involved when applying for a position in this new tour tier. And as you said, I don't think rejection is probably the wrong word.
Unsuccessful application.
Exactly. Yeah, that's probably a more politically correct way of saying it. But look, if you go through the process and as you said, you get the feedback and say, this is where you fell short, kind of go, right, well, how can we improve the club to get ourselves to that situation, and we can go back and look at it again next year? Because as we know, as far as I'm aware, they're still trying to fill spaces for that third tier.
I think that was the case. I think they had 15 teams, but I don't think that's the final quota of teams.
Yeah, and I'd imagine that they'll want to get as many in as possible, and obviously have a good geographical spread, and a club representing Meath would suit that mold as well.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
look, I have to say, going back to Meath FC, as you say, with that geographical spread, I can see this working. I can see it getting there. Now it's going to take time. Obviously, you're probably talking a long-term plan there.
Yeah.
But best of luck to everybody involved, and fair play.
I've said it for years, just in terms of the League of Ireland requiring heavy investment. If we're to compete with the bigger leagues in Europe, that's what needs to happen. You need private investors. Like, I'm not talking about, sheiks and all sorts of that.
But just people who are,
but like big corporations just coming in, backing a club, backing the league, and then allowing the club to grow their infrastructure from academies right up to stadiums, so on and so forth. Like, we talk about Dalymount being redeveloped. As far as I'm aware, even on completion of that redevelopment, it still won't be fit
for UEFA. Is that right?
For UEFA games. So if those qualify for Europe, they'll still have to play their games in Tala.
I think that's bizarre, isn't it? Like, Tala or the Aviva.
Yeah, it's usually Tala host.
Usually Tala, yeah. I just find that bizarre, actually, with that Dalymount. Like, why not push to make it UEFA compatible?
Yeah.
Because you look at some of the teams around Europe, they're not necessarily playing in like the Spurs Stadium, probably the best stadium in the Premier League. You know what I mean? But you're not required to have it at that level.
Best stadium in the Championship.
Well, it will be.
We'll come back to that.
We will come back to that. So that project looks really good for Dalymount.
Yeah.
How much?
It's well overdue.
Well, how much more did that need to kick on just to become UEFA compatible? I don't know.
Arsenal game's just finished.
So it has. Terrible. Well, look, we're in the semi-final.
You won't be able to play like that against Atletico.
No, definitely not. I look, we'll get to Arsenal.
There you go. You're getting text messages.
Right, live text message coming in. Someone looking for a game, or looking for players for that game in Spawell on Thursday evening, which this podcast won't go out until tomorrow night, but we'll get a post out for him.
Put it across the socials.
Put it across the socials tomorrow, and you'll all see that. Yesterday.
That's good timing. That's never happened, actually. We've never got a notification from the website during the podcast.
Now, if you're if you're listening to this now, you'll have seen the social post yesterday because this is going out Friday.
That's some Back to the Future type stuff.
Yeah, isn't it? What were we talking? We were talking about the daily amount, but I think we kind of gotten to the end of that conversation, had we?
Yeah, it's just look. I think some corporations might see the third tier as a good entry point for that type of investment
Yeah, yeah,
because it's not going to cost them as much going in at that level.
yeah. And if they see a return on that investment, then they put a bit more
If we
money.
take, like as I said, I mentioned Town Farm again. So if we took them for an example, so let's say if you sponsored them for 3 seasons and you broke that up, the course of that payment over the 3 seasons or whatever it might be, you could find yourself in the League of Ireland after two or
After
three
2 or 3
seasons.
seasons, yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
And at that level, you're probably not looking at you're not looking at investing to buy players straight away. You're
Mm,
investing to improve training facilities. You're investing to improve quality of players coming out of clubs,
Yeah,
and then there's a player decent enough, maybe they get snapped up by a League of Ireland team, and then there's another pump of money gone into a club. Do you
yeah,
know what I mean? And it all comes back down to the initial investment then,
yeah,
and that paying dividends then. So you could see, like you say, you could see it being a very appealing option.
yeah. I was surprised though, as I said, having spoken to Gavin Pearce, just the level of finances involved just to run for a single season.
Yeah,
I can only imagine what it costs the
suppose
likes of a League of Ireland, like the top tier division.
this the thing, people, I
Yeah,
suppose.
probably closer to 500,000. Like I was looking at Bowes. There was something there the other day. Bowes had a return of 1.3 million in profit last season. Now they donated over 500,000 to various charities.
Mm.
Still a net profit of about 700,000, and most of that, as you know, goes on from jersey sales
Yeah, yeah.
and the collaborations that they do as well. So
I've seen other clubs start doing that. Was it Pats
they have the
a
Wolf
Wolf Towns
Tones.
one?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah,
really nice actually.
yeah. It's pretty cool. I do like this trend. I have to admit.
Yeah, if it's bringing out great looking jerseys and
Yeah, yeah.
future classics, absolutely.
There's a page I follow actually. Well, we follow it as any games on the TikTok page, but they're actually good. They're called Kitman Apparel on TikTok. Non-sponsor, just a shout out to them there because I do see their stuff on TikTok, but they sell jerseys, like old jerseys or whatever. But they kind of
The retro stuff.
yeah, but it's good. You should actually give it a look. Some of their stuff is good. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
I got the 1990 Ireland jersey, the Opal one, the Adidas Opal one. And then I got the 1986 Man United jersey,
oh,
the
very good. Yeah,
the
yeah.
old sharp one, yeah. Again, Adidas as well.
I have I was up in the attic recently, and I have a box with all like a lot of old jerseys in it, and I
Oh,
had the white 1990 Ireland jersey.
the Opal one.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a cracker. Was the 1990 one that had the big green? Or was that no? That was the
No, no.
94.
This is just like
90,
plain.
94 had the big green,
Yeah, yeah. On
the
94 was
Adidas stripes, the
the
three.
stripes down the front. Roy Keane had the Christmas jumper of it on a Christmas time. Remember that?
No, that was 98.
Are you sure?
The stripes it was green stripes with orange pinstripes. That one.
No, it was like just green stripes right down the front of it.
No, I don't. I
Um,
think that was later again.
anyway, the 1991 was just plain white, but it had like kind of like shiny little design on it. Like it was like
Shiny,
shiny.
shiny.
Yeah. So yeah. Um, next topic then, Gav. Moving on, and in the news we have more amateur football talk there for the AUL and the United Churches League with their partnership.
Yeah. Um, Not quite sure what that looks like going forward. Whether it's
Is
in,
there aims to be a merger there, like
yeah,
or
some sort of amalgamation. I'm not too
yeah.
sure, but
It's kind of been active actually. I was reading up on it today. It's actually been active since last season,
yeah,
where they have the top division, which consists of 6 teams from both.
yeah,
I think they call it that Premier something. I'm not sure. Anyway, but it's the top division and there's 6 teams from both. But that has now expanded down into the third tier now. I think.
yeah,
I was reading up on it today, like I said, but I didn't do a deep dive.
yeah. I mean, I'm all for it. I do. like we discussed there a couple of weeks ago, the FAI's plans to streamline football in Ireland. And I've said it many times, just in terms of, you know, mergers in football where you're combining resources, and you're bringing the best talent together. It's only going to improve
I
things
think
in
it's
my
only I
eyes.
think it's only a good thing. Yeah, you did just as you said there. You spoke about it on here before. We spoke about it more on a club level,
Yeah,
merging teams and stuff like that. But you made the point of you say you take Finglas and you take few of the smaller clubs who, do you know what I mean? Not that they disappear into the mist, but if you merge them into one big club,
yeah.
all of a sudden you have this bigger club able to field more teams, more players, more youth teams, stuff like that. I suppose the same thing applies on a bigger scale for leagues, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think for leagues as well, I don't know. s- For me, over the last couple of years, it seems like the Leinster Senior League has kind of taken precedence in terms of amateur football. Um,
Mm.
and I think that was kind of seen as the top level of amateur football.
Has been for a
Uh,
while,
you
hasn't it?
know, I was going to say this side of the pond, this side of Ireland.
Yeah,
Um, so I wonder, are they trying to compete with the Leinster Senior League and become more competitive? Because as I said, if you're bringing the best of two separate competitions together, um, and all the clubs that are involved with them, so like some great clubs, like even like you've got the likes of Rivermount and the Valley here locally. Um, you've got clubs like Darndale, and you've got like there's a lot of good
there is a lot of good
that have got
clubs, and
that have recently gone on good cup runs and stuff as well. You know, so like
not to
they're
mention
competitive
good
teams.
good people at clubs as well. Who are putting in time and effort there.
Yeah,
And I think you're right. I think when you say is it a aim to compete with the Leinster Senior League, compete, yeah, maybe not the right word, but to bring it up to the level,
that's probably more accurate. I think I think when you, as I said before, if you're bringing, I think you create more competitiveness. Like when you have the best players and the best clubs involved, and you merge them like that, I think everybody wins. I just think you get a better standard of football.
I think so.
It becomes more competitive, and that's probably more where I was trying to go with it. As you said, probably bringing it up to closer to the standard of the Leinster Senior League, maybe.
What happens there then is it's more appealing to players, say, playing at a certain standard in the AUL, and then all of a sudden you have a Leinster Senior League team look at them and say, "Do you want to come over here?" And they're like, "Yep, no problem. Going to go and play at a higher level of football." Whereas at least if you bring the AUL, Churches League up to a level where someone's going to be like, "Nah, do you know what? It's actually good enough here. I'm
Yeah,
happy here,
yeah,
and I don't need to move on." You
yeah.
know, but
And it might fall in line with what the FAI are trying to achieve as well. Um, like if you can imagine, like we've spoken before, like if the FAI are trying to allocate funding, now they have no funding to allocate at the moment.
yeah,
But if they got themselves into that position where they were able to allocate funding, and they looked at the likes of Meath, like with Meath FC coming in now, let's say that was an amalgamation of Ratoath and Trim and Dunboyne or Clonee or whatever it might be, a
whatever it
couple of
might be.
clubs
Yeah,
coming in. You're combining all their resources and you're combining everything. When the FAI go to allocate funding now, they can just put a block of money at Meath FC, and that covers four previous clubs or whatever it
yeah.
might be. Do you know what I'm saying?
And I think that might be the kind of thing that's going to happen there.
Yeah,
I think Meath FC are going to quickly become, or to me, it looks like they're going to become probably the biggest team in Meath now.
it certainly seems like they want to be the hub for all the best young talent in Meath and develop that
Yeah.
as the years go on up until senior level, as we said before. So
Basing themselves in Navan will be a pretty good thing for them as well, because I think all things revolve around Navan. Not revolve around Navan, but Navan's kind of like
well,
the biggest
Navan,
town there in Meath.
as far as I know, Navan have merged two clubs together because they had Navan Town and they had Cosmos, and they've now become Navan Cosmos, as
Oh,
far as I
okay.
know.
All right, I don't know. I hadn't heard that.
And they've begun to improve pitches as well and facilities there as well. And they've also got a women's team, I think, together as well, if I'm not mistaken. So that's another example of where two clubs kind of came together. Because I think, as far as I know, one of the clubs, I'm not sure which one, but one of the clubs had the facilities. The other club had the numbers and the
Okay.
bodies down. So bringing them both together, you get the best of both worlds then.
I mean, like you said, that just goes back to what we spoke about.
Yeah.
In
And I'm
terms
not
of the
trying to
benefit
simplify it. I
mergers.
know it can be
No, no,
difficult,
no.
you know, and
And they can be difficult as well because I said I've seen this before, where you're looking at a merger of two clubs, three clubs, whatever it might be, and all of a sudden people are getting worried about their position then in the club, saying like, "But you might have someone who's the first team coach over here, but when the merger comes, well, where am I going to be?"
yeah, I don't even think, I think that's probably a lesser issue. I think some of it would be club history and heritage being lost.
Yeah, there's a bit of that as well.
Like I think if
No, there's a lot of that, should I say?
like if you could imagine, right, let's say, for example, United and City merged,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right, to become Manchester Athletic, right? That would be unbelievable. No, I'm only joking. Like, it would be very easy to do because City have no history.
Exactly. Yeah,
Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like I'm
yeah.
I'm talking before
So,
the boy out and all the money came in.
do United inherit the 115 charges with that as well?
No, you can have them.
Okay,
So,
right,
no,
right.
this was before the money came into the
Right,
club.
right. Okay,
Do you
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Fans might not be happy about it, but
Doesn't matter. All United's fans are from London anyway.
oh, let's not talk about football fans in London just yet, Dave.
Uh,
But you're gonna have people who've been involved in that club, could be founding members. They put
yeah,
40 years in that club,
yeah. I know
and
what you mean.
now the club's merging with another club, and the name is getting lost,
Yeah, that's true.
and they'd be worried that the history goes with it. So there's a way of doing it. It can be done successfully, but these are issues that people need to iron
Yeah,
out.
that's understandable.
But I think,
Yeah,
I think all that aside, for the most part, I think it should be done more often because, like, our national footballing body are
brilliant.
struggling financially. They've confessed to that themselves. The money's not there. So whatever little money can be found and invested in, it's more effective when it's not as widely spread out.
Yeah, yeah,
When they're
yeah,
able to focus it on,
yeah,
like, if you have a large catchment area and one club covers the bulk of that funding is going to more individuals and more clubs. You know what I mean?
it's like butter and toast, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you've only got a small bit of butter left.
And you're
We just
trying
do we just do one slice.
yeah,
Do you know?
and fold it.
Yeah, yeah.
Cut the crust off.
I suppose then just going back then, final thoughts on the AUL United Churches League merger. I think it can only be a positive thing, really.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll be interested to see what that looks like going forward.
Yeah, yeah. Keep an eye on that one.
Yep.
I suppose then just one more piece of then, you want to call it local in the news or amateur football in the news, is the Football Ireland transplant team.
Yep.
Are playing a game up in Belfast against their northern counterparts this weekend, and just wanted to say best of luck to everybody involved there.
Yeah, absolutely. Wishing everyone involved the very best of luck there.
Yep. Then moving on to more professional football side of things, and in the news, Gav, we have a couple of Liverpool players in the news this week, but mainly Andy Robertson has announced that he's going to be leaving the club at the end of the season.
Yeah, along with Mo Salah, the two of them are leaving the club, and you know what? I don't like too many Liverpool players,
Yeah.
but I've always liked Andy Robertson. He's a good player.
Yeah, solid professional as well, isn't he? Like he's
Yeah, and a good story as well. I think somebody put up a caption of a tweet from, was it 2012, when he was like, such and such is a load of shit. I need to get myself a job, something like that.
oh really?
Yeah,
Mad.
and you think
Yeah,
of
yeah.
where he's at now.
Yeah.
the career that he's had.
He's won everything
Yeah,
pretty much
yeah.
at club level.
Sorry. Great servant to the club. Kind of similar to maybe Shamie Coleman at Everton.
Yeah, yeah.
One of those
You'd kind of,
stalwart
you'd say
fullbacks.
similar characters as well, wouldn't they be?
Just great from all the soundness that come out around the club. He's a great character to have. He's offers a lot in the dressing room as well. Experience. He's seen it all.
Yeah, yeah.
So
He'll be missed at the club, I think. I don't know whether. I'd like to know what Liverpool fans think. Do you miss him as a player now?
It's a difficult one because I always find when players are coming towards the end of their career, like even if you look at Mo Salah and the season that he's having this season, when they don't go out necessarily on a high, it can be very easy to forget what
they've done for the club,
what they done and what they brought,
yeah,
and how good they were when they were hitting top form.
Yeah, I suppose when they say will he be missed, I don't mean as a character. I just mean I think it's time now. The time's right for him to move on, basically, for our club and for the player.
There's been links with him going to Spurs.
Also, he's playing Championship football next year.
Well, it's on the basis that they stay up.
Okay.
So he's not going to Spurs.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
What do you make of De Zerbi coming in at Spurs? Just on that topic. Do you reckon he has a clause to?
No, he'd be there. I don't think he comes in because I think he's very. You couldn't be coming in. Excuse me. You couldn't be coming in thinking, "Oh, I'm going to keep these up," because it doesn't.
He's not the manager for that.
There's no guarantees. No, he's not the manager for that. They'll probably come straight back. But I mean, the Championship is a different beast as well. Do you know what I mean?
I heard Sean Dyche talking about it actually because somebody was saying that he was supposed to be going for the job or being interviewed for the job or whatever, and he was like, I wouldn't even take it because what happened was like Spurs think they're a Champions League club, like they think they should be competing every year. So let's say I went in there and I kept them up, and we go into next season,
they'd sack him.
And then they turn around and go, you're not playing the type of football that we want you to play, or you're not high enough up the league. He's like, you get to Halloween and you're gone. Like,
I have to respect him for that. You know, because it'd be easy just to say, yeah, give me the job, I'll take that and run with it. You know, but I think Sean Dyche is too good for Spurs.
It's a nice little slide dig in there. Wouldn't be like it if.
No.
What else have we got? Areola,
that's in the news as well. He's moving on from Bournemouth at the end of the season. Do you reckon there's somebody in there for him? Something's after been done in the background.
I don't know. You'd imagine there would have to be. They seem to be playing his cards close to his chest there. For me, he's like, I get the impression he wants to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah,
like most managers, their destination is the Premier League. Their end goal is the Premier League.
A lot of managers would be going for there. I mean, not least of all because they'll earn more money in the Premier League.
You would wonder, like, you're kind of looking around, going, if he's made that decision, maybe there's a club lined up in the background.
You would have, because
who would you think is,
to say it's come out of nowhere? Maybe a stretch because managers move on. You know what I mean? But it did kind of come out of nowhere, the news that he is moving on. Considering he's doing a good job there, they're on a massive unbeaten run and everything. You know, for Bournemouth, and no disrespect to Bournemouth, but you know he's done a good job there, and he's
considering they sold Semenyo and the form hasn't dipped whatsoever.
Actually, I wanted to ask you that. Do you reckon part of it could be that he knows this is it? This is as far as he can get them. They're going to sell their best players when
that's their MO, isn't it, as a club?
And then, and as I said, no disrespect to them or anything like that, but that is where they are as a club. You know,
I don't think Michael B. Jordan is going to give them 100 million for the transfer window, is he?
Is he involved there?
Yeah, he's part owner at Bournemouth.
Never knew that. I just have a sneaking suspicion that some deal has been done in the background with Areola. I reckon he's off somewhere, but where, I don't know. As you say, Premier League.
You would have to say that it's going to be a club that has
Although no,
more
sorry,
European prospects.
sorry.
If you stay in the Premier League, it has to have more European prospects.
Now I think about it, and
So that narrows it
I
down.
just said those words, and I'm literally going to flip flop live on the podcast.
Go for it.
I don't think there's a club actually lined up because if it's the Premier League, someone has to be sacked. Someone has to be a vacancy there somewhere. And unless someone's planning to sack their manager at the end of the season and have contacted him,
Or they have a caretaker manager in
well, now
now
you're right.
who hasn't got a contract.
Yeah, good point. Actually, Man United
Yeah,
take him.
it's hard to
It's hard
say.
to
I
say
mean,
because
with the exception of one or two results that
Carrick's
United have had,
Carrick's done a good job.
the Leeds game in the first half, like having 3 weeks off and putting your feet up in Carton House
Yeah,
to come out and give that sort of performance was abysmal. Now, what I would say is, on that note, some of the changes and the personnel that we had on the pitch probably shouldn't have been there. Mazraoui was really poor. Like, it's very rare that I would say United were missing Diogo Dalot,
yeah,
but we missed him in that game. We missed Harry Maguire. I like Lenny Euro. Martinez was way off it. And I'm a big fan of Martinez, but he was way off it. Although I thought sending off was a bit. I'm getting too much into this, am I?
yeah. Because we're gonna cover the game.
Cut all that out.
No, we'll keep it. Yeah, well, maybe we'll. But anyway, we'll get back to that game. But suppose if Cardiff is not going to be kept on as the manager full time, would you
Yep.
take Ariola?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. I think you could do worse. I think.
There's very few managers out there that I think would do a better job than Carrick's doing at the moment. Um, that are actually available as well,
Yeah,
which is the other thing. Like, there's loads of talk of Enrique and all. I think that conversation's pie in the sky. I mean,
I don't think Enrique's leaving. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I think he will eventually. Like,
Did I
if
saw?
PSG were to go on and win another Champions League,
Yeah, he
what's he
might move
sticking
on.
around
He
for?
might move on. Just on Ardiola, but to United, if that was to be the thing, and from me from the outside looking in, not being a United fan and having no investment in Ardiola at all, it looks like a perfect fit for me. Looks like a perfect match, should I say? Given right, United are back now, more than likely going to be in the Champions League next year, and Ardiola deserving a step up of a
Yeah,
club.
yeah,
It just seems like a nice match
yeah. I
for
think so. And the fact that he's not actually a manager, he's a head coach. That he's not going to be looking for any sort of a say in transfers, or he's going to
yeah,
stay
yeah.
stay in his lane, and he's very good at what he does in that regard.
He'd have United playing a good brand of football.
Like with all head coaches, I'm sure he gets to sit down and pick from a list that's handed to
Yeah,
him
obviously, yeah.
for
Or
whatever transfers,
make the
transfers and
suggestions. These things happen in conversation. Then
yeah. But Wilcox, Jason Wilcox, in the background at United, very heavily involved, and that's kind of what Amarim walked away from. He wasn't happy with that. He wanted more control.
Mm.
Um, but I think Ariola would be happy to play ball in that respect and just go, look, I'll work with what you give me.
Yep.
So I think he fits that mold. So maybe there's something there. I don't know if Chelsea are particularly happy with Rosinia. I know the fans
No, I don't
aren't.
think. I don't think he's staying.
And then the big one, the only other big one, not in terms of their position, but in terms of club, would be Eddie Howe. Like, the
Yeah,
owners have come out and said that they're backing Eddie Howe 100%, and I think they should. I think he's a great manager.
come in and tell you about that.
I'd have him on the short list at United.
That is the loaded gun. When a club come out and say, "Oh, we're fully behind this manager and we're going to back him," that's the loaded gun. That's like the right. We're ready to pull the trigger on you.
Any day now.
Yeah. How many times have you seen it?
I've seen it. How many times have I seen it at United alone?
Yeah. Oh, we give this manager the backing.
Yeah.
Arteta
Ten
got
Hag.
the backing during the week.
Yeah.
Oh. Now,
well, he's through to the
we'll get into Arsenal when it comes
to the
time
semi-finals.
to the Premier League. Yeah. Anyway,
what else have we got in the news?
just I actually had this written down because because we would have a lot of United fans listening, because a lot of United fans in Ireland. We have a friendly in the Aviva
Yes,
in the summer.
yes. Now I have not bought tickets.
No.
I bought tickets the last time United were here, and they played Athletic Bilbao, I think it was. That was on in the Aviva, and I had the pre-sale code. I went on, bought tickets for me and the boys, and we got stuck behind the goal, which wasn't bad for it because they were warming up down that end and that sort of stuff, and it was grand. Scorching hot day in August, which is rare in Ireland, but it was announced. It was announced, I'd say, a couple of days beforehand, or a week or so beforehand, that United were going to be playing in Scotland the day or 2 days before that game.
Okay.
So they had put out all the first team players in that game and didn't bring a lot of them to the Aviva. Um, so it was a bit disappointing in many ways. I wasn't overly happy with it, and I think with this one being at Crow Park, like it'll likely sell out. Might be a great atmosphere, but
Sometimes,
I don't like football games in Crow Park because the
yeah,
pitch is lost.
yeah,
You're
I know
too
what you
far
mean.
away
Yeah,
from the pitch.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Because a GA pitch is much bigger than soccer pitch.
yeah. So kind of, it's like that. When you're watching games.
Do you know what it reminds me of? My eldest youngest team plays nine aside, and we play on the all weather, and the nine aside pitch is marked out within the 11 aside pitch.
I know what you mean. It's like that. Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I was gonna liken it to. Do you know when there's a football match, but it's in an Olympic stadium,
Yeah,
and you have
and
the
there's a
running
running
track?
track.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's what it's like.
Yeah,
That's what it's like. So,
yeah. I know what you mean. I suppose
and I'd be very wary. You know,
that is the gamble, isn't it? When you buy tickets for these friendlies, like you don't know who's coming, you don't know who's going to be playing,
yeah.
and it's not as if it's a cheap ticket.
No, I think it's 75 for adults, 50 for kids, or
Yeah,
something like that.
and
It was
like
around it was
I
around the
suppose
same when I bought them.
by today's standards, I suppose that is a fucking cheap ticket. But
Yeah.
I suppose it does depend on where it falls. If that's going to be a couple of weeks before the kick off of the Premier League season, you might see
Now there's a
a
couple of
decent 11
stipulations
out.
with that match going ahead as well,
Oh, really?
because it's all dependent on Leeds staying in the Premier League
Okay.
and them not making the F no, not winning the FA Cup.
Why is that?
Because if they win the FA Cup, they'll be in the Community Shield that weekend.
Ah, right. Okay, that's
So
interesting.
yeah, so they can't win the FA Cup and they can't get relegated
Well,
for
I
that
don't.
game to
They're
go
not
ahead.
going to. I don't think they're going to win the FA Cup, but I
And I
think.
think Man United let them win on Monday to make sure the friendly went ahead.
Yeah, yeah,
Gives
yeah.
them an extra 3 points.
Yeah,
Stay out of that relegation zone.
and money in the bank.
Money in the bank.
Yeah. I,
Everybody wins.
to be fair, I think Leeds are staying up. But
I do.
so yeah, I think that wraps up in the news, Gav, does it?
I think it does.
Yeah.
We'll move on.
Move on to a better place.
But we talk about before we get into the Premier League, we'll talk about Champions League real quick.
Okay.
So you had me watching the Arsenal game.
I didn't have you watching it. I had it
No.
on there.
I told you to put the Bayern. I was quite content watching the Bayern Real game before you came along.
Yeah, well,
It was one of the all-time great games. Like the Barcelona Atletico game last night was top notch. Really entertaining game. But the Bayern and Real was just equally as mental.
yeah, well, we were watching a bit of it there, but then, like you said, oh yeah, I just
You had the remote
I just wanted to dampen everyone's spirits by putting on Arsenal. Do you know what I mean?
and a 0-0 draw
And then
at the Emirates. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Limping into the semi-finals.
yeah, limping everywhere.
Yeah.
Arsenal are fucking, like I've said it a few times. We get into Arsenal when I talk about them from on the weekend.
It's going to be a proper rant. You haven't been able to give out about them in 2 weeks and they've
No.
gotten nothing but worse.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, some good ties there in the Champions League, like that Bayern Munich at Real Madrid game. I watched Paris Saint-Germain. They looked good against Liverpool over 2 legs.
Yeah, a lot of that was Liverpool not showing up as well, particularly the first leg.
Yeah, because to be fair,
Quite disappointing.
they did a lot last night watching Liverpool, but didn't have any end product.
the problem is when you have to go after the game in the second leg.
Yep.
Especially against a team like a PSG, the latter stages of the Champions League, they're going to be working on that counter attack. They're going to let you have the ball, let you chase the game, and bang, counter attack.
Yeah.
And they've got the players to do it. And that's how it transpired in the end for them.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
I
actually,
think
do you know what? Do you know what we should mention as well? The European coefficient.
oh,
The
exactly. Yeah,
the fifth
actually,
place is now available in the Premier League.
it is. What was the reasoning for that? What pushed that over the line?
I think it was because so many of the English teams have made it through to the next round in European competitions.
No, okay.
So, Villa went through, did they?
Villa
Um,
did, I think.
and I think
Forest.
Forest,
Forest got. Oh, they've still to play.
they're playing Thursday, are they? Playing
Yeah,
tomorrow night?
they were given a lifeline in the last game. Did you see that goal?
No.
Oh, stop! It was a back pass from about 30 yards out, and like the keeper just the keeper was like way. It was the player's defender's fault. I think it was a defender.
He just
Went
get
to
his
pass
head
it
up.
back to the keeper, and
Keeper was nowhere to be
keeper
seen.
was nowhere to be found.
Jesus.
Yeah, so they were given a bit of a gift. So Forest are still in that tie. Um,
Who do you think are favourites to win the Champions League?
I'm gonna say Bayern.
I think so too.
I think Bayern.
I think it's the winner of that game, PSG Bayern.
I think so. If you had have asked me a few weeks ago when Arsenal were looking good in the competition, probably would have said because we've already done Bayern, but I know the group stage or the league phase, as it's called now, doesn't really mean that. We beat Bayern well in that stage of the competition, but I mean that means nothing going into a final.
Um,
I don't think we're going to get to the final. By the way,
that was my next question.
I think Atletico are going to do us.
Yeah. I'd like to see Atletico do it for Simeone.
He's finished this season as well. I think he's moving on.
I heard he's going to Bournemouth. The spot opened up.
I take him at Arsenal.
Oh, I'm going to get into that. Well, we keep saying it. I sound like a fucking broken record
Yeah.
now. I just can't wait to get to Arsenal. So much to talk about.
So we both fancy Bayern.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Because we are going to get into Arsenal. But if
Tell you
what would you rather if you had to choose one? The Premier League, which you haven't won in 24 years.
Yeah.
Or the Champions League, which you've never won. What would you take if you had to choose one?
Premier League.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always now I know the the European Cup is like the big competition. It's the top tier of Europe and all of that. But I've always maintained forever that the league is where a team shows its real quality and its consistency and how good it is as a team. And I've always stood by that. I've always said the Premier League is the target for anybody. You know what I mean? Champions League would be nice. Champions League would be lovely, and I think I'd love to see Arsenal lift the Champions League before I die. Do you know what I mean? But if you ask me this season, and I could only choose one, I'd take the Premier League. But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to win either.
Oh, right. We'll just get into it then.
We'll just get into it because the first game of the weekend was Arsenal and Bournemouth.
Yeah.
So we may as
And you didn't watch any football after that?
I didn't. I was sick. I'll admit it, and people will love it. But it just ruined my appetite for football for the whole weekend.
Right, before we discuss the game, right, just in general, because we haven't been on air in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Where are you at with Arsenal now, as an Arsenal fan?
Extremely frustrated. Extremely frustrated watching Arsenal.
Are you worried? Sounds like you're worried.
I've gone past worry.
So are you...
I was worried about 4 weeks ago.
Are you resigned to the idea that you could walk away trophyless this season?
Yeah. I think it's going to happen. I don't see. You look at our last 3 domestic performances. Don't worry about Europe for now. But we had nothing against Bournemouth. We were terrible. I saw a stat today. We had something like 75 passes on the edge of our own box. I think David Raya had more passes than anyone else in the game. We did nothing going forward. We won a penalty, which was, you could say it was harsh. I would probably, do you know what I mean? But we were terrible. We showed nothing. Then you go back and you had the FA Cup tie against Southampton. Again, toothless. Again, this fucking passing out from the back when it's clearly not working and teams have figured it out for Arsenal. all you have to do is press them, and they don't know what to do, and they panic. And then you
Well,
go back,
we've seen it
and then you go
tonight
back.
against Sporting.
Did see
David
again,
Raya nearly gave away a
very
goal.
nearly gave away a goal. And then you go back and you look at the League Cup final, Arsenal's first chance to win a trophy in 5 years, and again, and I know it's Man City and they're the best team in the country and all of that, but they literally again did not show up. And all City had to do in that game was press Arsenal from playing out from the back. And once they did that, Arsenal had absolutely nothing. Nothing. I think Arteta is. Uh, I don't know whether it's out of ideas or has just been found out now as one dimensional. But I'm fucking fed up. You could look at it and say, right, at one point we were 9 points clear, or whatever fuck it was. Could have been 12 at one point, and it's like Arsenal are boring to watch, and Arsenal are shy. And yes, we are boring to watch, and the quality of football we're playing is shit. But I was willing to take it and just say, right, fuck it, we'll get over the line, win the league this season, and we'll worry about the quality of football next year. And we'll lift the Premier League trophy, and we'll be like, who gives a fuck how we won it? Do you know what I mean? And you take all the stick and all of that, and you're like, yeah, I couldn't give a fuck, we won the league. But we're looking at garbage football from Arsenal, and now the fucking results aren't coming. And for me, I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch that. You know, I don't want to watch us fucking trudge through games. Like it's desperate. And honestly,
Even as a neutral, like I tune in obviously because Arsenal are top of the league, and you're kind of you're keeping an eye on it and seeing how they're getting on. But it's a hard watch, Dave.
oh, it's so hard to watch. I can't watch. I don't enjoy
They
Arsenal
don't they
games.
don't look like champions.
No, they don't. They're not going to win a game. City are going to hammer us this weekend. City are going to hammer Arsenal this weekend.
Like with all the talk about Arsenal and how the majority of opposition fans from all different clubs have said Arsenal don't look like champions this year. They haven't been playing like champions. Even when you had, what was the biggest gap you had at one point?
It was 9. It's never been more than 9.
It's never been more than 9.
No, it was 9. I think.
But
I think at one point it was 9 on level games.
Yeah.
But now it's 9. It's 6 now with a game in hand.
Yeah.
It was 9 with a game in hand.
And they play you this week.
They had to play us this weekend, and I mean, I think the goal difference is so close that they beat us by any margins.
3 goals in the difference.
3 goals in
the
the difference.
The last time I checked, yeah.
You know, so I don't know. I've no.
Do you think? Do you think that you had done enough to warrant? Had just been good enough to warrant that 9-point gap?
No. I'll tell you when like I said to you, I'm past worry at this stage. Now I'm just kind of like, I'm at that resignation stage. I started to worry when we lost to Wolves. Was it loss or a draw? Can't remember. Anyway, we failed to beat Wolves, and it's been bad since then.
Yeah,
you know, and that's when I started to worry, and now I'm just pissed off. Now I'm just like, fuck it, whatever happens now, and I'm not going to get too upset about it.
Yeah, for me, it's less of an Arsenal thing and more of just the Premier League in total this season. Spoken about it so many times. The quality of the Premier League in general has been very poor this season. The lack of consistency from any team.
Yeah, but City have now decided to turn it on.
But I think Arsenal allowed that. Like Arsenal's,
they fueled it, but at the same time, City still have to go and now win these games, and City seem to have found their stride a bit.
But they're still not. Like for weeks, game week after game week went on and on this season, and so many times you said to me, "I City back, I City back."
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, because they don't look like the City that won the treble.
No,
or the great title winning teams that went before them.
They don't. But I suppose as you're alluding to, they don't have to be this season. They just have to do enough.
But that's what I mean.
You know,
that's what I mean. Arsenal, for all their dominance and spending so much time at the top of the league for so long, to just lose it and go out on a whimper. Like even you look at Tottenham, they're just whimpering out of the league.
Yeah.
Like
must be something in the water in North London.
There must be something in the water in North London, honestly. But the whole league, I think, is just
It hasn't been a great Premier League season.
It's been one of the poorest I can remember,
Yeah.
honestly. Very few like really good, exciting edge of your seat games. Teams really going for it. Like every game at the moment seems to be a carbon copy of the one that
Yeah.
went before it.
Yeah.
It's one team asserts dominance possession wise, the other team stays compact, looks to counter.
Yeah.
It's the same in every single game, and they don't have, more often than not, they don't have the quality to pull off the counter. Like there was one game last weekend that caught me eye, and it was who had Everton got? It was the Everton Brentford game, was it? Brentford, I think,
It
and it was
was Brentford, yeah.
Queeve and Kelleher and Pickford pulling off unbelievable saves both ends of the pitch, and it was a game where the keepers were called into question and had to make great saves.
Yeah.
That was a good game.
There's so few and far between this
so
season.
far between.
You know, if you want to watch a decent match, maybe watch the Championship.
Yeah, or the Champions League.
Champions
at this
League,
stage.
yeah.
Just not Arsenal.
To finish that off, if we win nothing this season,
yeah,
Arteta has to go. It's done. It's done. The project's failed at that point. You know, you can make like the last 3 seasons we finished second, and I could make a case as to why we didn't bottle those leagues. If you know what I mean. The 4th season, no one really expected us to be there anyway. We were punching above our weight a little bit.
Can I ask though, Roy, how much of it is on the manager? Because there's like you might
tell you why, but anyway.
Like managers get sacked every other week in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Right. Like you look at Spurs and you look at Forest and all this season, and just manager after manager, and you know sometimes a change of manager can work. Other times, like I always find it's more telling when a new manager gets a tune out of a group of players, and I'm thinking, why weren't them players playing well before?
I could make that case for a lot of teams where you see Michael Carrick come in, and shift United and make them look like a good team again, when Amarin couldn't. Yeah, but
I think that goes against the narrative. I think the Amarin situation, because he was so set on his formation, and playing players out of position that weren't brought in for that.
It's probably a bad example.
I think there was too much of a difference in playing style. But like if you have the likes of a De Zerbi coming in at Tottenham, like for a lot of those players, they would have played a De Zerbi type of football. It's not too far away. He's not trying to reinvent the wheel there.
Yeah.
And there's no like new manager bounce. There's no pride in the players to go, we're gonna dig deep here.
Yeah.
Instead, it's Romero and it's Van de Ven and whatever, like going in and breaking people up, trying to show that they care.
Well, Romero broke himself up this weekend, didn't he?
Yeah.
I suppose sorry, you were asking how much of it is on the manager.
Yeah.
I think in Arsenal's case, I think fucking 80% of it. I'll tell you why. He has them so rigidly set up. This playing out from the back, not working, right? But when the players look, I was listening to a podcast today, I can't remember which one it was now, sorry. But someone on it said, when the players are looking to the sideline to say, what you have us doing here is not working, and he doesn't change it or seems incapable of changing it, then that is on the manager. That is 100% on the coach at that point. And I know you can say players should step up, and like Arsenal are so rigidly set out.
Yeah.
That
like
they seem terrified. They seem fucking scared on the pitch, Arsenal.
But that's why I'm saying, how much does that come down to the manager then? Because Arteta's been there for a long time now, right? And initially he was like, they were like Man City juniors. He was after coming from being Pep's sidekick to trying to implement a similar style at Arsenal.
Yeah.
And that's when you got the best out of Odegaard, Saka.
Yeah.
Right? Playing that type of football, and he brought in Jesus and all that sort of stuff, right? So you were playing a particular style of football. You've even brought in Zinchenko. Like there was loads of that going on.
It was positive. Yeah, positive football.
Yeah.
Won an FA Cup on the back of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
But
mean?
he's weren't pushing for the league.
No.
So then he changed he was like, right, I can't be the master at the Masters game. I'm going to have to reinvent the wheel and I'm going to go for physicality
Mm-hmm.
and rigidness and, you know, pinpoint accuracy in terms of structure, where people should be on the pitch, not making any mistakes. You know, Saka hasn't got that freedom anymore. Odegaard doesn't have that freedom anymore. Everything's retain possession.
Yeah.
Pull the opposition out of shape and then exploit them.
Saka and
But he's
Odegaard.
dying on the hill with that.
Yeah.
You know what
Instead
I
of
mean?
shifting, if he was to shift back now for the last 6 games left, whatever it is, shift back to that, just throwing caution to the wind for the next 6 games and just going all out to try and win games. Like this season when Jesus and stuff like that came in. That's what I want to see now, to be honest with you, at this point, because what's happening right now is not working.
Yeah.
And teams have figured it out. You mentioned Saka and Odegaard there. They are the two main victims of this style of football that he's playing. I think people ask what's happened to Saka. I think the manager.
Yeah.
The manager's what's happened to Saka and Odegaard.
Like I said it to you before about Max Dowman and stuff coming in. And like he looks like what Saka used to do.
Mm.
That freedom.
Yeah.
That just carelessness, that go, right, look, you're their game changer. You just go out and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Like what Eden Hazard used to do, what Raheem Sterling used to do. Like all these players that just went out there, like Ronaldo's, where look at
Play with freedom.
don't worry about your defensive duties.
Yeah.
Just look to exploit the opposition.
Go at your man.
And play the game the way you see fit.
Yeah.
And change it for us.
Yeah. Look, it is what it is at this stage. And I think, like I said, we'll see how the remainder of the season goes. But for me, I don't think Arsenal win anything now. And Arteta has to go.
Arteta out.
Yeah. Going back to the weekend then, Gav, we kind of touched on Arsenal a bit too much there. And I had said we were the first game of the weekend. We actually weren't. There was a game on Friday night, and it was West Ham hammering Wolves 4-0.
Yeah, big game.
It was a big game.
Like,
and
more so a big result. Because that was the one that put Spurs into the relegation zone.
And I think you text me or I text you on Friday night, and I think I said to you, I think they stay there now.
Yeah.
For the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And I think they probably stay there for the rest of the season.
It's looking that way. I mean, you nearly keep going, right, this is the weekend they're going to get a result. And then you watch them and you're like,
it doesn't happen.
It seems to go worse. And as I said, like with the Serbian stuff coming in, you were expecting some sort of a bounce back.
Yeah.
It just never came.
It's a big one for West Ham as well. That's a big result, like 4-0. It's a hammering. Like
hammering from the Hammers.
Hammering from the Hammers, and it's one of those results that could set a team on a bit of a run.
But they've been playing well. That's why I worry for Tottenham.
Yeah.
Like Tottenham can't pick up a point. Like they haven't won a game this year. And your West Hams and your Leeds and your Forest
all seem capable of winning games.
They're all going out and
they're
but they look like they're enjoying the football.
Yeah.
Spurs players don't look like they want to be on the pitch.
It's about certain players and certain teams. I think we might have mentioned it on here before, and I've definitely heard it said before, is that some teams, some coaches, some players just don't know what it means to be in a relegation battle. And they're not.
I think that plays a huge part, because if you're a Leeds or a Forest or a West Ham, you nearly know yourself you're going to be in that position.
Yep.
So you've already got that mentality that we need to pick up as many points as we can, and every single game is a battle, and we have to go in here and fight. There's nothing guaranteed. We have to give everything to keep our heads above the relegation zone here.
And
where you're looking at the Spurs fan, not Spurs fans, sorry, the Spurs players, and they're almost like, I shouldn't be here. This is not my fault. We're here. This is such and such's fault, or the previous manager, or it's the owners, or it's Daniel Levy for leaving, or it's.
And at that point,
it's like I don't deserve to be this.
Who cares whose fault it is?
I'm too good to be in this position. Like.
Yeah, who cares whose fault it is? You're in the situation, so
Fight.
get yourself out of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of those players are probably going to be gone at the end of the season. If they do go down, they probably have clauses. You know that.
That's why I was kind of querying the Zerbi appointment, because, like you said, he's not going to go in there and say, "Oh, I'm going to have 6 games and I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to keep us in the Premier League. I'm going to keep all these players around, and we'll go out and spend well in the summer and whatever. Turn this whole thing around, and get back in top 6." Like, that doesn't happen, and
No,
they
well,
failed to pick up another point. 'Cause
then what?
We've gone through their schedule for the rest of the season, and it doesn't look promising for them.
No.
So if it's a case that they're in the Championship next season, and as you said, a lot of them players aren't going to stick around, what's De Zerbi actually working with other than fantastic stadium?
Great coach and all, De Zerbi. But what does he know about the kind of player that he's going to need in the Championship?
Did he? Because he didn't bring Brighton up. Sure, he didn't. He came in after Potter. Potter brought them up. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
Was that the process? But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
Yep.
Because you really need, like, I'd nearly look at that and go, with all the changes that are going to take place at Spurs, Wolves are in a better position to come back up next season.
Yeah.
Because they've already brought Rob Edwards in. Rob Edwards signed up to that project, knowing full well at that point that Wolves weren't going to stay up.
Yeah.
And he's, although they took a bit of a battering there, as you said, off West Ham, they're almost still playing for points and nearly in preparation for the championships next season. Like, you still feel like they're playing even more so than Tottenham, even though their fate is sealed.
Because they're playing, as you say, it's nearly a momentum thing. And I know it's a new season, whatever, but they want to finish on that kind of mentality of playing for all the points they can get and winning games, drawing games, whatever it might be. And
Rob Edwards is just like, look, we went out, we fought hard today, it didn't go our way, whatever.
Yeah.
But you nearly feel like those players are still playing for Rob Edwards. Everybody knows, look, we're going down, but we're going to give a good account of ourselves on the way out.
It's very telling that the team that are already essentially relegated, I don't think it's mathematical at this point, is it? But anyway, Wolves are gone.
Yeah.
And they're showing more. They're showing
the
more.
same.
Yeah, and they're showing more fight than Tottenham.
Yeah,
that says a lot.
It's madness.
It says a lot. To move on, then we had the next game. I suppose you spoke about it out there a few minutes ago. Was Brentford at home to Everton 2-2.
Really good game. Probably the best game of the weekend for me.
Yeah.
I must admit, from a neutral perspective, it was just a entertaining game of football. Two keepers coming off really well there. Good to see Queevy doing well.
Yeah, it's always good to see the Irish players doing well in the league. I must admit, I didn't watch any football after the Arsenal game this weekend, Gav.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch a lot of live football, with the exception of the United game. Caught the highlights of most of them, but that was certainly the most enjoyable.
Oh yeah, I had intended to watch the City and Chelsea game, but I was out for a bit. And City were already 2-0 up before I was back home, and I was like, nah.
Yeah.
No.
You don't want to add to the misery.
No. Moving on, then we had Burnley losing at home to Brighton 2-0. Seems about right.
Yeah. Sorry, something just popped into my head there, just that was in the news this week. Garnacho was interviewed, and in that he was talking about kind of the circumstances in which he left United. And he was kind of saying he hadn't been playing as much during that period, and that he, although he was still young, because he had played so regular, he felt like he was a starter. But also saying that he had kind of done some of the wrong things, and he wasn't sort of saying that he made the wrong decision going to Chelsea, but he just felt like a move was the right thing for him at the time.
Right. Okay. So you see this happen with players, though. You
But
see
the grass isn't always greener, because I think he's getting less game time now than he would have done at United.
It's interesting though because I suppose this is from the outside looking in as like a fan of neither club, but I found he seems to be getting less game time at Chelsea, but he also seems to be performing better at Chelsea than he was at United when he is playing. No, I don't know. You could probably correct me on that. I don't know.
I don't know if that's true. I probably wouldn't be watching him as closely with him being at Chelsea. And again, he's getting 10, 15 minutes spurts here and there. Like he's
Yeah, yeah.
not
He's not.
he's not setting the world alight. He does what Garnacho does, and the way in which he plays, it's very direct.
Yeah.
And Chelsea don't always play like that. So I think because he brings something different, he's a good impact sub for the way Chelsea set up, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, I thought he was obviously doing a bit of reflecting. Didn't speak ill of United, which I always like from past players, that don't go out.
Yeah, they don't go and
Not like
slate the club. Or...
Dean Henderson, who was slating United while he was still contracted with the club. He was only out on loan.
Yeah,
Absolute tool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just said I'd
Yeah,
mention
just
that.
came into your head. To move on then in last week's fixtures, we had a big result for Liverpool 2-0 at home to Fulham. Big in the context of the Premier League.
Yeah.
Puts them 4 points clear of Chelsea now, and as we spoke about earlier, the coefficient now 5th place is going to get Champions League football. Puts Liverpool in a strong position actually with 6 games to go to hold on to that Champions League spot.
Yeah. It's
although
like as obviously as a United fan, we're sitting in third at the moment. I think it's just on goal difference. We're level on points with Aston Villa, and then Liverpool are a couple of points behind. But
yeah, but that pack of 3 teams there is just slowly opening up a gap now on Chelsea.
yeah,
Do you know?
yeah, Chelsea look poor, and I feel like it makes no odds. As a United fan, it doesn't really make too much odds whether we stay third or we drop to 5th. Or actually, that's a lie. We want to stay above Liverpool.
Yeah, that's true.
But what I would say is, I'm not, even though we didn't show up particularly that first half against Leeds, I'm not particularly worried just because Villa are hit and miss.
Liverpool are hit
Liverpool
and miss as well.
are hit and miss.
They're just a little bit more consistent than Chelsea. Big loss for Liverpool actually. Last night, Ekitike went down. Looks like he's done
for the season.
Yeah, he like stretch it off.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't see that.
I think it looked like it might have been a hamstring. I'm not sure.
He's been best player for me. Him and Szoboszlai, I think this season have been the 2 best players, 2 standout performers.
Yeah, shout out to the young lad as well, and Gamora, Liam.
Yeah, he's been brilliant.
I'd
say we'll see a lot more of him next season, especially with Salah moving on. I wonder if they'll move to replace. I'm sure they will, because he's the young lad's only 16, so I'd say
they'll bring someone in for Salah.
Yeah. Or do you play Ekitike on the right, maybe?
Maybe they have Isak there as well, but then what do? You probably need another striker, though, do
you? Who else have they got?
Gakpo.
There's talk of Gakpo leaving, isn't there? I think Liverpool fans are nearly done with Gakpo.
Fans have had enough of him. Yeah. I was only talking to a friend of mine last night, and he was like, "If Gakpo comes on, he said you may forget us scoring."
Yeah,
So I think they are done with him.
Yeah.
Moving on then to Sunday, Gav. Have we finished with that, Liverpool? Yeah. Moving on to Sunday, then we had Palace winning 2-1 at home to Newcastle, and we spoke about Newcastle and Eddie Howe. I do see Eddie Howe moving on.
By choice?
No, not by choice. Being moved on, shall we say, at the end of this season. They'll hold on to him. There's no cause to sack him right now because they're not in trouble, and they're not necessarily fighting for European football. Well, outside chance of some European football. When you look at 6th and 7th, maybe, is that going to be what gets
European place?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it depends how far the European teams get.
It also depends on who wins FA Cups and who wins.
But it also depends, like, I think who's left in the Europa?
Europa, I haven't a clue. Villa.
Villa in the Europa?
No, Forest are conference,
Or
aren't they?
Forest Conference. So let's say Villa won the Europa.
They'll get Champions League football,
They'll get Champions League,
but then they'll have Champions League by
but
their
they'll
Europa League
already
position.
have Champions League. I think that might open up another spot.
Okay. Well, then
There's a bit of a
there's an outside chance of Newcastle getting European football.
very
But
so are they 14th at the moment?
they are 14th on 42 points, and you just want to scroll up to 7th. Is Brentford on 47?
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
It's actually, if you want to go up to as far as 6th, you have Chelsea on 48.
Yeah,
You know,
it's not. What's that? 6 points. What did you say? Newcastle won on 42.
42.
So 6 points between 14th and 6th.
Yeah,
Like
mad, isn't it?
Chelsea, if Chelsea lose the next 2 games, they could be on 14th.
You know,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean?
If everything goes one way or another, yeah.
They'll be down there with Spurs.
I just think I think Eddie Howe's gone as far as he can with Newcastle.
Yeah,
You know?
I think league positions sometimes mask how well a team are doing,
Probably,
and I think it's never been more prevalent than now.
And now when you look at Chelsea, who could potentially drop down to
But
14.
we're talking like Rossini's actually done in there. Like he could end up getting Champions League spots. Like that'd be really good. But look at the results. Look at the points accumulation. Like we just said, like there's talk of Eddie Howe. Like Newcastle are down on 14th.
Yeah.
Still get Champions League.
Very outside chance.
Oh, you know.
Like, but it's not mathematically impossible.
But where's the investment? They
Yeah, I
bought
know.
they sold their top striker.
Yeah,
They brought in Wissa, who's been injured
and then
for nearly the whole season. Voltemade
who's failed to kind of impress really.
started out all right and took a worldie of a penalty. He
Yeah.
took the roof off
Scored against Arsenal.
the net. But like you're trying to manage these clubs with your hands tied behind your back.
I know, but
And they're going to compare him to Unai Emery because he's a similar situation at Aston Villa, where the club has loads of money, they're not allowed to spend it.
Yeah.
What's the points difference between Villa and Newcastle?
Villa and Newcastle? Yeah, have Villa on 55, Newcastle on 42. So
Yeah, so there's like
12 points.
it's literally like 4 wins in it,
13 points.
4 wins and a draw in it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And Newcastle actually have the thing that's killing Newcastle this season is the amount of games where they've dropped points from winning positions.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's been a bit of a thing for them.
So they've actually been leading games and thrown games away in the latter stages of the game, where they've either lost the game completely or gotten a draw out of it.
Yeah, look,
from winning positions.
I don't necessarily think Eddie Howe deserves to lose the job, but I think it's just someone ultimately pays, and the first thing that people call for is the manager.
Yeah,
you know, and it's really short of investing, which Newcastle can't seem to do. The only thing they could change is the manager and try and change it that way. So I think Eddie Howe will just fall victim to that.
Yeah,
you know. Moving on to the next game then, and we spoke about this as well, about teams down the bottom just scraping and picking up points. And you have Forest 1-1 at home to Villa.
That's all you need.
You know,
all you need. Did us a favour as well.
Yeah.
You
know, and it is just that case of a team getting your points where you can. You know, you're like playing Villa, you're playing the was a top 4 team in the Premier League. Let's just get out and see if we can get a point here today. You know,
but you're going to get a lot of that now, closing end of the season, because every point is vital. So you've got Villa who are looking to keep on to that Champions League position.
Yep.
Forest holding on for their life just to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tight, cagey game, and that's exactly how it turned out to be.
And it's for reasons like that I think Spurs are going to stay in that bottom 3. And speaking of Spurs, the next game was Sunderland at home to Spurs, and they beat them 1-0. Just for them putting the misery in there for Spurs.
Yeah. They just can't find a point at the minute.
Can't find a win. I mean, we kind of spoke about Spurs already, so we won't touch on them too much here, but they just don't look capable of anything at the minute, do they?
No, it's the body language. It's everything. It's how they're set up. It's, as I said, like this kind of fake showing of emotion and heart, and really all you're doing is kicking somebody and
Mm.
pretending that you care. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
do you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Next up, then we had Chelsea home to Man City, 3-0 into City there. Yeah, you can see why the Rossini thing is now falling away, isn't it? It's starting to become a little bit inconsistent. He looked like he might have had a bit of something when he first came in.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking another. fucking
Just
another.
an in betweener.
Yeah, yeah. We're moving on a bit quickly here, but we'll finish it off, Gav, with your team.
Yeah, look, the less said about that, the better. United had 3 weeks off, swanning around Carton House, and decided to skip the first half and just show second half. And even at that, it was poor.
Yeah.
I think the personnel that were playing was wrong. I don't say it that often, but we missed Dallow, we missed Maguire, we missed Mainu, and probably an argument to be made for Brian and Boomer should have started. I don't know whether he's rested him because he's gone a while without a goal.
So sat him
Maybe,
down more than rest of them. Just
yeah.
yeah.
Sesko couldn't hold up the ball for dear life. Um,
You might be able to tell me, how has Sesko been?
he's been great off the bench.
Okay.
What he has seemed to done is play so well off the bench and get a lot of winning goals that fans are calling and everybody's looking going, this fella needs to start. Especially as I said, because Brian and Boomer wasn't hitting the back of the net for a while. So it just made sense to try and start him. But Manuel Ugarte just isn't a Premier League player. He's not good enough on the ball. He can't move it quick enough. He keeps getting caught out in possession. And it meant we had no control in midfield whatsoever.
Yeah.
And because Mainoo wasn't there, Casemiro had to do more running. And we kind of resorted back to type. We had Bruno Fernandes dropping deep to get the ball to start, this almost like quarterback attempt.
Yeah,
Where he's
yeah.
trying to orchestrate everything and play the perfect pass. Worked for Casemiro's header, but probably could have had another one not too long after that as well. But just in general, it was a very, very rusty,
Nothing to write home about
lackluster performance,
Yeah.
and to be beaten by Leeds at Old Trafford for the first time since the 80s, pretty shambolic.
Yeah.
Breaking records again for all the wrong
All
reasons.
the wrong reasons. Something about that fellow wants to get his hair cut. There's only 6 games left, so he's only got 2 games.
The United strand.
Yeah.
Sick of hearing about that.
Fucking sick of hearing about that fucker. We're coming up on an hour and a half, Gav, so we'll just do a quick fire for this weekend in the Premier League, will we?
Yeah.
We start
Draw.
on
Draw.
Brentford and Fulham.
Draw.
Nah, Brentford.
Draw.
You wanna go draw?
You always write Fulham off. When Fulham lose a game, they come back and they win a game.
Right. I'm still gonna say Brentford.
No,
And
say
then
Fulham.
you can tell me I was
Draw.
wrong. Leeds at home to Wolves. Only
Leeds.
one winner there, isn't there? I think.
Yeah.
Newcastle at home to Bournemouth. I say Bournemouth.
Newcastle.
No, actually, I'm gonna say a draw.
Gonna go Newcastle.
Fair enough.
St James, is it you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spurs at home to Brighton.
Brighton.
Yeah, I think Brighton as well. Chelsea at home to United.
United.
Yeah, I'm going to say United, even though Chelsea off the back of a spanking would want to bounce back. I still think Chelsea will.
Promises to be a good game, but it'll probably be actually crap.
Yeah,
On
it
paper,
probably will.
It'll probably genuinely be really poor.
Joe, one of those games where the teams cancel each other out and
Yeah.
fucking, yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
just limps into the abyss.
Sunday then, Villa at home to Sunderland.
That'd be a good game, I think.
Yeah, I think Villa will scrape it.
I could see that being a draw.
Can you?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Villa because you accuse me of sitting on the fence too often. So
Yeah.
I'll say Villa. Everton and Liverpool. Everton at home. I'm going to give this one to Everton.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forest at home to Burnley. It's a big one. Actually, sorry, just to go back there really quick. Spurs have an opportunity this weekend to put a bit of pressure on. They're up first.
They
You know,
won't.
they won't.
They
Anyway,
won't.
sorry, back to Forest and Burnley. I'm going to give it to Forest.
I'll go Burnley then. Yeah.
Sorry. Man City, Arsenal. City.
Yeah, to be honest, I only see it being City.
Yeah, that's all I can say. Arsenal are
sorry,
so
Dave.
lackluster at the moment. Arsenal are poor at the minute, so yeah, it's going to be an easy City
I
win.
don't want City to win the league. I want Arsenal to win the league.
Yeah, but they're going to. So,
Like
unfortunately.
a lot of people are like, we don't want Arsenal to win it before we do. And all.
Come here. I'll touch
I'm
on
like,
this maybe
no,
another
you don't
time.
want City getting another fucking title.
Look, I'll touch on it
Fucking
in another podcast, but I just
Noisy
want to
neighbours.
put it out there really quickly. This whole fucking Arsenal hatred thing feels so very forced from a lot of people at the minute. It's just fun to hate Arsenal. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know, and the media have a lot to answer for on that one as well. But anyway, final game of the weekend, Monday Night Football, Palace at home to West Ham.
Good little London derby.
I'm gonna get my fence sitting shoes on.
Gonna saddle up on that fence.
Yeah. I'm gonna say draw.
Yeah, smells like a draw to me as well.
Does. And that concludes Premier League proceedings.
You'll be hoping for a West Ham win, though, won't
I
you?
will, of course. Yep.
That's what we have. So we just need Forest, Leeds, West Ham.
I'll say this.
Say
If Forest
Say
and
it.
West Ham win this weekend and Spurs don't, Spurs are gone. I think Spurs will be gone.
Romeo done.
Yeah, I think that'll be that. I don't
Yeah.
think they'll have enough to come back from. That'll be a 5-point deficit.
Well, Spurs are done, and for tonight, so are me and Dave.
We're done. As usual, if you want to check out the
Here it
socials, the
comes.
TikTok, the YouTube,
Here they come.
especially the YouTube, actually, because, you know, there's a few highlights videos up there from games we've done, and there'll be more, hopefully, in the near future.
But wait, there's more.
So, for now, that's it from me, Dave. God bless.
And from me, Gav, Slán Wiley.